Good day, learners. This is Easy Engineering. This time we're going to talk about kinematics. In physics, a big topic of study is mechanics. This can be divided into two smaller topics, which are the kinematics and dynamics. In this video, we will only focus on kinematics and solving kinematics problems. To start with, let us define kinematics. Kinematics is a branch of mechanics which deals with equations that describes the motion of an object without external forces. Now we need to familiarize ourselves with these equations. In the first equation, the distance d is equal to the initial velocity v sub I multiplied by time t plus 1/2 of acceleration a multiplied by the square of time t. In the second equation, the square of final velocity is equal to the square of initial velocity plus 2 multiplied by the acceleration times the distance. In the third equation, the final velocity is equal to the initial velocity plus the acceleration times the time. In the fourth equation, the distance is equal to the average velocity, which is the initial velocity, plus the final velocity divided by 2 multiplied by time. So, let us try these equations by solving problems. First, we have a problem concerning horizontal motion. A car starts from rest and accelerates uniformly over a time of 5.21 seconds for a distance of 110 meters. Now determine the acceleration of the car. Now let us answer it. We are given the initial velocity, which is 0 meters per second because it starts from rest. Next, the time, which is equal to 5.21 seconds, and distance, which is equal to 110 meters. We are asked for the acceleration of the car. So, we need to find a formula that has initial velocity, distance, time, and acceleration. The formula that suits for this problem is equation 1. Now we can input the known values and compute for the acceleration. And now we have the acceleration. The acceleration would be equal to 8.10 meters per second squared. Now let's go to the second problem. The second problem will be about vertical motion. Cardo is riding the giant drop at Great America. If Cardo free falls for 2.60 seconds, what will be his final velocity and how far will he fall? We are given the initial velocity, which is 0 meters per second because Cardo experienced free fall motion. Next, the time taken is equal to 2.60 seconds, and the acceleration, which is due to gravity, is 9.8 meters per second squared. Lastly, we are asked for his final velocity and the distance of his fall. First, we need to solve for the final velocity. We need to have a formula which has initial velocity, acceleration, and time, and final velocity. We can say that equation 3 suits our needs for us to solve the final velocity. We then input the known values and solve for the final velocity. So the final velocity is equal to 25.48 meters per second. Next, we need to solve for the distance of his fall. Since we have now the final velocity, we can use the equation 4. We then input the known values and solve for the distance. So the distance of Cardo's fall is 33.12 meters. Even if we use equation 3, we will arrive at the same answer. Now let's try it. We input initial velocity and final velocity, acceleration, and solving for the distance. So it is the same with the value we get if we use equation 4, which is 33.12 meters. Lastly, let's go to a problem about projectile motion. A football is kicked with an initial velocity of 25 meters per second at an angle of 45 degrees with the horizontal. Determine the time of flight, the horizontal displacement, and the peak height of the football. In this problem, there are two dimensions of motion. Hence, we need to separate the x and y components. First, we need to resolve into x and y component the initial velocity. The x component of the initial velocity is equal to v sub I cosine theta. So we have So as the y component of the initial velocity, is equal to v sub I multiplied to sine theta. So we have now the initial velocity along x and initial velocity along y. We are asked to find the time of flight first. When the ball reaches the maximum height, its final velocity along y is equal to 0 meters per second. So we can use equation 3 to find the time t. We will only account the y component as the a sub y is the acceleration along y component, which is due to gravity, which is the g is equal to negative 9.8 meters per second squared. The negative value indicates that the acceleration's direction is downward. Then we input the known values and solving for time t, which gives us the 1.804 seconds. But this time t only accounts the time when the ball reaches the maximum height. So to solve for the total flight of the ball, we just need to multiply it by 2. So the total time t is equal to 3.61 seconds. Next, we ask for the horizontal displacement. This is an x component. We can use equation 4 to solve for the displacement. So we will be having, we then input the known values. Take note that the velocity along x component is constant. So the initial velocity along x is equal to the final velocity along y. And the time we will use will be the total time for the ball to reach the ground, which gives us the d sub x, which is the 63.82 meters. Lastly, to find its maximum height, we still use equation 4. But this time, the time we use will be the half of the total time, because this is the time that the ball reaches its peak height. So we will have, and then we input the known values, which gives us the 15.95 meters. So to sum up, the time of flight of the ball is 3.61 seconds. The horizontal distance traveled of the ball is 63.82 meters and the peak height is 15.95 meters. So that's it. So did you enjoy our topic for today? I hope you certainly did. See you again next time for more interesting and fun topics only here in Easy Engineering. We make engineering topics easy and fun for you.